My boss's son had no clue I spoke 7 languages. He fired me on the spot, but the next day the CEO asked, "Why did you let him go? Didn't you see the contract?" I worked at this mid-size shipping company for 3 years. Nothing fancy, just processing invoices and handling customer complaints. My direct supervisor was this older guy named Frank, who'd been there since the 90s. Frank's son Brett had just graduated college and got hired as some kind of management trainee. Typical spoiled rich kid who thought his business degree made him smarter than everyone else. Brett would walk around the office in his expensive suits, making comments about how we needed to optimize our human resources and streamline inefficient processes. Translation, he wanted to fire people to look good to his dad. One Tuesday morning, we had this huge problem. Our biggest client, some German manufacturing company, sent us this angry email about a delayed shipment. Everything was in German, and nobody in the office could read it. Brett was panicking because this client was worth like $2 million a year. He kept running around asking if anyone knew German. The IT guy tried Google Translate, but it was garbage. Made no sense. I just sat at my desk watching this chaos unfold. See, what nobody knew was that I spoke German fluently. Also Spanish, French, Italian, Portuguese, Mandarin, and Japanese. My parents were diplomats when I was growing up. We moved around every few years. I learned languages out of necessity, not because I was some genius, but I never mentioned it at work. Why would I? My job was data entry, not translation. Plus, Brett had this attitude where he dismissed everything I said anyway. He'd roll his eyes whenever I made suggestions about improving our filing system or fixing obvious mistakes in our database. To him, I was just some blue-collar worker who didn't understand business. So I watched him sweat for 2 hours. He even called a translation service, but they wanted $300 and needed 2 days. The client was expecting a response by end of business. Finally, Brett stormed over to my desk. His face was red, and he was clearly desperate. "Danny, you've been here forever. Do you know anyone who speaks German? Anyone at all?" I looked up from my computer screen. "What's the email say?" "It's in German. Nobody can read it." I shrugged. "I can read it." Brett stared at me like I just said I could fly. "You speak German?" "Yeah. Also Spanish, French, Italian, Portuguese, Mandarin, and Japanese." His mouth literally fell open. Then his face got angry. Really angry. "Are you kidding me right now? We've been scrambling for hours and you just sat there? You didn't think to mention you speak 7 languages?" I kept my voice calm. "You didn't ask." "I didn't ask? We were running around like idiots and you just watched? That's insubordination. That's sabotage. You want me to translate the email or not?" Brett was shaking with rage. "You know what? No! Pack your stuff. You're fired. Anyone who would let their coworkers struggle like that doesn't belong here." I logged out of my computer, grabbed my coffee mug, and left. Didn't argue, didn't explain, just walked out. The next morning I was drinking coffee at home when my phone rang. Unknown number. "Danny, this is Robert Mills, the CEO. Can you come in today? We need to talk." When I got to the office, Mr. Mills was waiting in the conference room with Frank and Brett. Brett looked like he wanted to disappear into his chair. Mr. Mills slid a folder across the table. "Did you read your employment contract when you signed it 3 years ago?" I shook my head. "Just the salary and benefits stuff." Page 4, paragraph 6. "We pay a $5,000 annual bonus to any employee who speaks 3 or more languages fluently." Page 7 gives you automatic priority for any international client communications. My stomach dropped. I never claimed that bonus. Because Brett's been handling all international issues without consulting our multilingual employees. We've been paying translation services $12,000 a year for work you could have done in-house. Mr. Mills turned to Brett. "The German email you couldn't read? It wasn't a complaint. They were offering us a 3-year exclusive contract worth $8 million. They needed a response by yesterday." Brett's face went white. Mr. Mills continued. "Danny's going to call them this morning, in German, and explain that there was a miscommunication. Hopefully they'll still consider our company professional enough for their business." I got my job back, plus 3 years of back pay bonuses. Brett got moved to a different department where he couldn't fire anyone. The German client signed the contract. Turns out they were impressed that we had multilingual staff who could communicate directly instead of using translation services. I started handling all our international correspondence, got a promotion and a raise. Now I work directly under Mr. Mills, translating contracts and negotiating deals with overseas clients. Brett still works in the building. We pass each other in the hallway sometimes. He never makes eye contact.